Pierce Brosnan just dropped a shocking announcement no one expected. At 71, the former James Bond is preparing for the worst, after losing both his wife and daughter to ovarian cancer. Now, something new is forcing him to face his deepest fear. The man who played the world's toughest spy is fighting a battle he can't control. Born in Drogheda, Ireland, Pierce grew up without a father. His dad disappeared so early that Pierce has no memories of him. His mother, a nurse, left for London when Pierce was 4, leaving him with relatives for 7 years. Always the outsider, Pierce moved to Scotland at 11 when his mother remarried. Her new husband, William, was kind and patient, teaching Pierce to trust again. In 1964, a trip to the cinema changed his life. Watching Sean Connery's James Bond in Goldfinger inspired Pierce to want strength and confidence. At 16, he dropped out of school to study art in London, dreaming of becoming a painter. But fate stepped in when he joined a theater workshop by chance. His natural presence caught attention, and soon he was training at Drama Centre London, where the intense program broke students down to build stars. From that moment, Pierce's path to becoming Bond, and much more, was set. But Pierce pushed through, working side jobs, studying Shakespeare, even training in mime and circus acts, all while paying a steep $1,200 a year. He never gave up. In 1976, his first big break came with the thriller Wait Until Dark, playing a character who made audiences uncomfortable. That cold edge caught the director's eye. A year later, he breathed life into The Red Devil Battery Sign, a Tennessee Williams play that had flopped in America. Critics praised him, and people started to take notice. Pierce moved to film in 1980, landing a blink-and-you-miss-it role with Elizabeth Taylor in The Mirror Cracked. He earned just $50, but it was a start. That same year, he appeared in The Long Good Friday, which slowly became a cult classic. Pierce was quietly building his path. By 1982, he was still barely known outside the UK, mostly TV and theater work. Then he auditioned for a small role on Remington Steele, a murder victim, one scene and done. But NBC's casting director saw something else: charm, presence, magnetic energy. They called him back, not for the small part, but the lead. Producers gambled on the 29-year-old Irish newcomer for a role meant for a 50-something American. His accent almost cost him the part, but once on screen, he became Remington Steele, cool, smooth, mysterious. The show premiered October 1st, 1982, and was an instant hit, drawing 15.6 million weekly viewers in its first year. Although canceled after season 4, fan outrage brought it back for a final season, ending with nearly 26 million viewers. At its peak, Remington Steele made NBC over $50 million a year from advertising, with $200 million more from international sales in 80-plus countries. And it did something unexpected. Private detective license applications in the US soared 340%, proof that Brosnan's cool character struck a chord. Success came with pressure. Just 2 months after the show began, critics claimed Brosnan was the next James Bond. By January 1983, Entertainment Weekly called him the most Bond-like actor since Sean Connery. A few months later, Bond producer Albert "Cubby" Broccoli reached out. He was watching and interested. By 1984, rumors exploded. NBC played up Brosnan's secret agent vibe. TV Guide even ran a cover asking, "The next 007?" Ian Fleming's widow, Anne Fleming, said Brosnan looked and acted exactly how her husband imagined Bond. That year, Brosnan earned a Golden Globe nomination for Nancy Astor, competing against legends like Anthony Hopkins. He nearly won, losing by just 3 votes. The real Astor family was impressed, despite initial doubts. Contrary to popular belief, Brosnan was first considered for Bond in 1983 for A View to a Kill. Roger Moore was unsure about continuing, and Brosnan was on standby. Producer Broccoli met him on the set of For Your Eyes Only and was sold. If he could act, he was the man. But the studio panicked and offered Moore a $3.5 million payday to return. Brosnan's chance was delayed again. Then, in 1986, Remington Steele was canceled. When rumors linked Brosnan to Bond, ratings soared. NBC reversed the cancellation, but kept Brosnan under contract, meaning he couldn't film Bond. The attention worked against him. Producers moved on, giving the role to Timothy Dalton, Brosnan's friend. Dalton's darker Bond wasn't a hit. License to Kill flopped with $34 million in the US. Brosnan watched from the sidelines but didn't vanish. Between 1986 and 1994, the lost years, he chose roles carefully. A British spy in The Fourth Protocol, 1987, a supernatural part in Nomads, 1986, and even tuxedo Diet Coke commercials hinting at Bond's charm. Off-screen, Pierce's life was changing too. He met Cassandra Harris, a working actress from Sydney in the late 70s. They hit it off instantly. Living together in Wimbledon, they married on December 27, 1980. Cassandra had 2 children from a previous marriage, Charlotte and Christopher, whom Pierce embraced as his own. When Cassandra's ex-husband died in 1986, Pierce legally adopted the kids. Having grown up fatherless himself, Pierce poured everything into being the dad he never had. In his words, "I wasn't a father, I was just Pierce, and then I became daddy." In 1983, Cassandra and Pierce had a son together, Sean. Their family was complete, 5 strong, full of warmth. Pierce's career was rising, but family always came first. He was determined to give his kids the love he never had. In 1981, Cassandra landed a Bond girl role in For Your Eyes Only, before Pierce even dreamed of playing 007. While filming, she met Bond producer Albert Broccoli and pushed him to consider Pierce. Broccoli was impressed, but Pierce was stuck in a Remington steel contract and couldn't take the role, yet. Then, tragedy struck. In 1987, during filming in India, Cassandra fell seriously ill. Back in London, tests revealed ovarian cancer, advanced and relentless. 4 grueling years followed. 8 surgeries, chemotherapy, and fierce courage. Pierce stood by her, calling himself the quiet party, always there but often helpless. Their son Sean, just a boy, would sometimes pretend to be the doctor. Heartbreaking. The cancer was genetic. Cassandra's mother had died from it too, raising fears for their children. In December 1991, Cassandra died at 43. Pierce and her son Christopher were with her. Charlotte was on the phone from London. Christmas passed, but grief took hold as Pierce suddenly had to raise 3 kids alone. He called it the first time he truly felt grief. Cassandra shaped Pierce deeply. "She's in every fiber of my being," he said. In 1994, inspired by her belief, he became James Bond, a personal and career triumph. GoldenEye revived the franchise, earning $353 million on a $60 million budget. Brosnan performed most stunts, including a daring bungee jump. The next 3 Bond films made over $1.2 billion, yet grief lingered. During Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997, he poured his pain into the role. Die Another Day, 2002, marked Bond's 40th anniversary, but nearly cost Brosnan his life in a stunt. Despite awards and offers like Indiana Jones, he stayed loyal to Bond. In 2004, his Bond role ended abruptly with no warning, triggering a career and emotional low. In 1994, he met Keely Shea Smith, who loved him for who he was. They married in 2001 and built a steady love. Tragedy struck again in 2013 when daughter Charlotte died of ovarian cancer, the same disease that took Cassandra and her mother. This genetic curse haunted 3 generations. Charlotte married 2 weeks before passing, showing love despite pain. Not all siblings coped well. Christopher struggled with addiction and legal issues. Keely endured harsh media scrutiny, but Pierce defended her fiercely. By 2024, she'd lost 100 pounds healthily, and they celebrated 23 years of marriage. At 71, Pierce remains a Hollywood icon and fighter, UNICEF ambassador and activist who turns personal pain into purpose. Though he couldn't save his daughter, he fights to save others. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.